Right now this morning, Eau Claire officials are asking the state attorney general to step in after reports of police dropping off homeless people in the community. We'll take a look at that. And President Biden's final hours in the Oval Office, the historic farewell address that has America talking this morning.
Plus, we have warmer conditions moving in the forecast with, again, light snow as we go into this morning and this evening.
This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Thursday, January 16th, 2025. You're impressed, aren't you?
Always.
You guys can't even tell that the teleprompter was blank for that one.
What teleprompter? This is not off the top of your
head? What are we talking about? Be careful heading out there this morning. The roads were looking pretty slick when I was driving in.
Pretty slick, pretty icy. In fact, pretty dicey as well as we go through the day here this early morning, I should say. We get up to Eau Claire, and you're looking at some light snow flurries that were in the forecast, and then eventually they kind of will start to track a little bit more to the east. We also have a slight chance of that happening down to the south here for La Crosse. We'll get into the day, though. Temperatures are on the mild side and breezy. We'll also see those winds continue to pick up as we go through the day. In fact, we take it through the morning. Light flurries possible, icy conditions, as Alexandra just said. We'll also hold on to milder conditions and breezy conditions through the day, and then into the nighttime as well, as those winds begin to stir up again up to the 30s as we carry over into tomorrow morning. Hey, how about this though? Tonight, low chance of light snow, and that's coming in as we go through your evening commute and continuing on into the overnight and into Friday. We also go for Saturday. We're looking at breezy conditions with temperatures falling, and we'll also go into Sunday with a weather alert day. So we're talking Saturday night for a weather alert day, all day Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday morning. We'll talk about that when I return with your local forecast.
Thank you, Art. President Joe Biden giving his farewell address last night after more than 50 years in federal politics. In the face of low approval ratings, the president touted his record. He pointed to major legislation, tackling gun reform and infrastructure. He listed accomplishments involving economics, healthcare, and diplomacy.
We've proven we don't have to choose between protecting the environment and growing the economy. We're doing both. It will take time to feel the full impact of all we've done together. But the seeds are planted, and they'll grow and they'll bloom for decades to come. I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences.
According to Gallup, President Biden leaves the presidency with a 39%.
Also warned the country, you heard there, about his concerns for the future and the incoming oligarchy, he said. He urged Americans to protect democracy and its institutions. And he closed his speech by expressing his love for his country. New this morning, Eau Claire officials asking the state attorney general to step in after reports of police dropping off homeless people in their community. News 8 has obtained these letters detailing multiple incidents, including 3 from St. Croix County. Meanwhile, Menominee police say they're investigating one of those incidents. They plan to release body and squad car footage to address what they call discrepancies in the claims. This morning, fire crews in Southern California hoping to make more headway in stamping out multiple wildfires there. Winds expected to ease up over the next few days. At least 25 people have died, more than 12,000 structures destroyed. CBS's Charlie DeMar reports from Los Angeles. Officials there now grappling with tough questions about what happened in the hours before disaster struck.
Weakening winds offered a much-needed break for firefighters battling the Southern California fires. But now questions swirl over what happened before the deadly flames spread.
It's the actions that we take prior to that wind event ever starting that are going to make the most difference.
CBS News has confirmed that as the Palisades fire started on the morning of January 7th, only 19 fire engines were pre-deployed to the area. It's unclear how many, if any, were sent to the first neighborhood on fire. Hours passed before officials sent out this notice to bring in off-duty firefighters.
I can guarantee you that every resource that was available was working and focused on the mission.
California's governor has signed an executive order to speed up the cleanup process so thousands of evacuees can get back in their homes.
The Glassmans returned to find a diamond in the rough, among the ruins of their Palisades home.
I thought I was never going to see it again. It's just pure joy. I am so happy.
But sorrow for Jordan Mitchell, who was in the hospital when his wheelchair-bound father and brother with cerebral palsy died in the Eaton fire. He says his father called for help, but no one came.
Dying in a fire is not a pretty way to go. No one deserves that.
Crosses now line fences, honoring the more than 24 victims of the most destructive wildfires in California history.
Images are just devastating, and federal and California law enforcement officials have formed a task force to combat crimes related to the wildfires like price gouging and looting. Closer to home, an Eau Claire volunteer working with the Red Cross helping those victims in California. Loon Wen has been volunteering at the Pasadena Civic Center, one of 7 sites in the area and the largest facility where victims can go for services and for a place to stay.
A lot of times people are donating things that you might not think about, right? Because we're in a shelter setting, a lot of people are donating board games, coloring books, activities that kids can do while they're here.
He says he'll stay in California till the end of the month. And other major news, Israel and Hamas reaching a ceasefire deal. In Gaza, you see here celebrations on the streets as that news broke. The deal is in 2 stages. Phase 1 will last 42 days, with Hamas releasing 33 hostages, including Americans, women, the elderly, and sick. In exchange, Israel releases dozens of Palestinian prisoners. A member from the Cooley Region Coalition for Palestinian Rights says it's a relief that a deal is finally in place.
Finally, humanity prevailed. Peace prevailed. It should have been done long time ago, but at least we're at this point now, and I'm so happy for all parties.
We also reached out to the Congregation Sons of Abraham Synagogue in La Crosse. They had no comment. Authorities have identified the La Crosse man who died at the new Quick Trip construction site in DeForest. They say 41-year-old Robert Snodgrass Jr. died January 9th after falling from the roof of the distribution center. DeForest police and OSHA are now investigating the workplace accident. Prairie du Chien school leaders hitting pause on major changes to district buildings. The school board is delaying a decision to move middle school students to the high school. This comes after already pausing talks to lease part of Bluffview Intermediate to a health center. The district says it needs to adjust declining enrollment, but voters rejected a $10 million referendum in November. Now they'll be asked to approve a $7 million request on the April ballot. And time is running out for schools to get state help with new reading programs in Wisconsin. $50 million meant to help districts implement phonics-based literacy is still frozen as lawmakers and Governor Evers disagree on how to spend it. Meanwhile, schools have already bought new materials and trained staff, expecting to be reimbursed. If no deal is reached by June 30th, that money will go back to the state surplus, leaving districts to foot the bill. And La Crosse is getting millions to help port projects. Governor Evers and WisDOT approved more than $10 million in grants. La Crosse will get $2.3 million for Hank terminals. Officials there want to build a storage building. Wisconsin's Supreme Court is now deciding the future of PFAS enforcement and what that means for French Islands water. News 8 Now's Allison Ferget with the high-stakes case.
4 years. That's how long Town of Campbell residents like Joel Steigerwald have been making do with bottled water. That's after the town's well water was found to have high levels of PFAS.
Number one, it's safer, and you know that it's been tested or whatever. I use it in everything.
PFAS, known as forever chemicals, are found in everyday items like nonstick pans, but they're linked to an increased risk of certain cancers and developmental issues.
I used to live in an area over by the airport which had a higher rating of PFAS. You would hear up and down the street, oh, this guy got cancer, this guy got something, and this guy.
The DNR has been using the spills law to require polluters to clean up their PFAS contamination. The law also allows the agency to provide emergency water to impacted communities, something Town of Campbell Supervisor Lee Donahue says is crucial.
The ability for residents to drink a safe alternative source of water is huge.
But Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce filed a lawsuit in 2021 saying the DNR never officially classified PFAS as a hazardous substance and is now arguing the DNR can't use the spills law to enforce PFAS cleanup until they officially classify the chemicals as such.
We disagree that PFAS as a category can be called a hazardous substance because the science on 9,000 compounds plus has not developed.
2 lower courts have sided with WMC, and now the state Supreme Court will have the final say. But the DNR says if they lose this case, they won't be able to provide emergency water to communities like French Island. Steigerwald says if that happens, he'll buy his own bottled water.
It's well worth the expense, from my opinion.
But Donahue says not everyone can afford that and worries they'd be left without a choice.
The worst that I could possibly foresee is some people would say, I simply can't afford it, and so I don't have an alternative but to drink water that we know is unsafe.
Reporting in the town of Campbell, Allison Fergit, News 8 Now, This Morning.
And in April, there'll be a state Supreme Court election, so we will likely get a ruling on the case within the next few months before that election happens. And a new twist in the closing of the Leinenkugel Brewery in Chippewa Falls. Jake and Dick Leinenkugel want to buy it back from Molson Coors. In a joint statement, the brothers said they asked the CEO to begin talks January 6th. They say the CEO declined and hasn't responded to their follow-up messages. The brewery is set to close tomorrow after more than 150 years, a move that'll leave 56 people without jobs. Molson Coors plans to move operations to Milwaukee. And a Chippewa Falls grocery store also closing its doors. The Lake Wissota Family Fair off of County Highway J will shut down in mid-March, leaving 45 employees without jobs. Parent company SpartanNash made that announcement yesterday. The Bay Street location will remain open. The time now is 6:11. Still ahead on your morning news. Trump may have plans to stop the TikTok ban, he says. Gas prices are a big factor in inflation, and Joann Fabrics is filing for bankruptcy again. And the filing period of the 2024 tax season quickly approaching. We'll have more on what's new this year and how you can get started filing your taxes. Before we go to break, a colorful sight lighting up the morning sky. Wow, look at that one. Hot air balloons of all shapes and sizes are floating over India this week as pilots from 8 countries gather for an international festival. 12 balloons from around the world, including the U.S., France, and Thailand, are painting the skies despite windy conditions. Organizers hope the festival will put India on the map for balloon enthusiasts worldwide. And as you start to wake up this morning, leaving you with a quick wake-up call with the city that invented our 6 o'clock producer's favorite sandwich. That is the Reuben. The city is Omaha, Nebraska. Oh, that's kind of surprising. Well, good morning, Omaha. Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is coming up.
Winter is here, and with winter weather come accidents and mishaps. Whether you're on your way to work, walking the dog, or out on the trail, accidents can happen.
At Bygoff and Rohde, we help you get the settlement you deserve to put your life back on track.
You're thinking about new windows and doors. I've been thinking about new windows and doors for over 40 years. You're thinking about the best window at the best price. I'm thinking about the best window at the best price for you. The best quality, installed by professional installers at a fair price. If you're planning new windows and doors, you owe it to yourself to contact the Board Store Home Improvements for a prompt free estimate. You'll be glad you did. Contact us today.
Wisconsin, one of those places where families spend their winters among frozen lakes and snow-covered hills. With all the fun they're having, it's easy to take for granted how they warm up by the fire or simply adjusting their thermostat. But for some of us, it's not that easy. Some of us need to decide whether to heat or to eat, or to further neglect our basic survival needs. We are working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans, all struggling to pay record heating bills. These dangerous temperatures aren't just uncomfortable for us, they can be deadly. If you are struggling to decide if you can put food on the table or heat your home, please reach out for a hand up. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Hey, let's try this with Ritz. Now here comes the blitz.
What?
Step up your game day with Ritz.
This is amazing, George Kittle.
Please, call me George Kittle.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
When you're dealing with your own insurance company, you may think that they're on your side, but the truth is, they're not. They're only concerned about their bottom line. That's why you need to hire Bygoff and Rohde. We get results.
Well, good morning to you and welcome back here. The snow that we experienced in Eau Claire this early morning now is just kind of moving its way out towards Lake Michigan. We have more of these coming back, these little light flurries coming back again as we go through the afternoon. I should say the late morning hours and getting into the afternoon. Then we have more of that coming in as we finish out going into your afternoon and into your evening hours and to overnight hours into Friday. Friday looks like snow in and out of the day, all day, all day. We'll get into current temperatures. 30 still holding on to Eau Claire and Ladysmith. La Crosse is at 32, Winona's at 32, Viroqua is at 29, and still holding on to those low 30s. You get into Viroqua, I should say Black River Falls, as well as Sparta. We'll also see the feels-like temperatures out there, 22 in Eau Claire, 24 Black River Falls, 32 for Sparta. These are all over the place, 23 in La Crosse, and then 18 in Viroqua, 23 in Prairie du Chien. You also see Eau Claire holding on to cloudy skies. We go from the 8 o'clock hour all the way to the noon hour. Cloudy skies will prevail with temperatures from 31 to about 32 degrees for you. Then we get into La Crosse. Cloudy skies continue all the way as well, 8 a.m. to the noon hour, and continuing on with some breezy winds up to 15 miles per hour out of the northwest. We're also picking up those wind speeds, as you can see right now, holding on to at least 6 to about, say, 16 miles per hour. That's keeping the fog away for us right now, but the fog will return later on in the evening hours for us. Highs so far, the highest wind gusts, we're looking at least up to 22 miles per hour and 26 up in Marshfield. When I come back, I'll have a better overview of your local forecast, so please stick around.
Well, in your consumer news, TikTok could get some extra ticks of the clock to avoid going dark. The social media app could find a lifeline in President-elect Donald Trump. Right now, it is set to be banned on Monday if it can't secure an American buyer by Sunday. Some sources say Trump is considering giving TikTok more time to cut a deal, though he has recently said he wants to keep the video sharing app alive. He did support a TikTok ban. He signed it during his first administration. Overall inflation was higher in December, but core inflation slowed for the first time in months. The overall consumer price index increased more than expected, rising to an annual rate of 2.9%. But that increase was mostly driven by gas and food prices. If you take out gas and fuel costs, the pace of price increases was actually slower. Another major retailer is heading back to bankruptcy court. Jo-Ann Fabrics is filing for Chapter 11 for the second time in less than a year. The craft store chain says slow sales and inventory troubles are forcing the move just 10 months after its first bankruptcy. While the 82-year-old retailer's stores and websites remain open, a potential buyer is already stepping forward. Gordon Brothers, the company that recently bought much of Big Lots, is showing interest. Well, tax season is just around the corner, and the IRS says January 27th is the first day the agency will start accepting and processing 2024 income tax returns. As millions of Americans start preparing to file, Ivan Rodriguez reports on what's new for this year.
This tax season, the IRS expects more than 140 million individual tax returns to be filed ahead of the April 15th federal deadline. Lisa Green-Lewis with TurboTax says before getting started, there's a few things to keep in mind.
Gather your W-2s, 1099s that report your income, and then also those receipts for anything that's deductible.
Although the official deadline to file your return is in April, millions of Americans won't be up against that timeline. Your filing deadline may be different if you live or do business in a federally declared disaster area. For example, the IRS announced that Southern California wildfire victims now have until October 15th to file federal, individual, or business tax returns and make tax payments. Similarly, because of the devastation wrought by Hurricane Helene and Milton, all taxpayers in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, as well as parts of Tennessee and Virginia, have until May 1st to file their returns and pay any tax due.
I would just keep in mind, if you were impacted, that you could claim the casualty on your 2024 taxes.
The IRS also says its pilot direct file program will now be open in 25 states, up from 12 last year when it launched. For those eligible, it'll allow people to file their taxes directly with the IRS for free.
That's a look at your morning consumer news. We'll send it back over now to Art for a check on our forecast.
All right, Alexander, as you get into it here, what we're looking at right now, holding on to milder conditions and light snow through your forecast. You're also going to see 30s today and then 40s and 30s tomorrow. Light snow gets in the forecast not only, from this morning, the late morning hours, all the way into the evening hours once we go into your evening commute. And after that, we see that continue on into tomorrow morning and also throughout the day for Friday. So let's take a gander what I've got going on for you. You got Friday, milder and breezy conditions, light snow. We'll hold on to Saturday, breezy conditions, falling temperatures, where temperatures are beginning to drop, possibly down to 18 degrees for your high. So that's going to prompt a weather alert day Saturday night that carries all the way into Tuesday morning. Sunday, alert day. You've got that frigid temperatures. That'll be the first alert day of our week coming in, getting a full day in there. We'll also hold on to the clouds right now. We're under cloudy skies to mostly cloudy skies in the forecast. And as we continue on, it doesn't look like it out there right now, but you can see the potential for icy conditions out there, not out of the question for folks that are going to be driving about this early morning. So please take it slow. The roadways are looking pretty good, but you may come across some areas that may have some icy conditions. This is Menominee there. You can also see if you get into the bluffs locally here, you can see maybe some of that ice forming on some of those roadways as we get through sunrise today. In fact, we'll also see the visibility. Not a real issue today, but once we get into the evening hours around 6 o'clock or so, you're going to see those visibilities begin to drop. That's when that snow starts to come back in the forecast again this evening. That continues on to at least 1 o'clock in the morning and then eventually continues on all the way to 3 a.m. in the morning for some cases, all the way out by Boscobel and Prairie du Chien. We'll also be taking a look here at the wind gusts. The winds for Friday in the overnight hours. After we get through the winds from this morning, we're going to be seeing these winds get up to the 20s. Then they pick up to the 30s as we go into the 7 o'clock hour for tomorrow. Then you're going to see them drop back down to at least the 20s again as far as wind speed is concerned. Then you're going to be seeing all the way into the 8 o'clock hour. Those winds are going to get up to those low 30s again and then continue on all the way into the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock hours. Highs for Thursday, well, we're looking at more 40s and some 30s possibly in the forecast as you get into it. That's today, so more 30s today. As we get into it, you're going to see the cloud cover continue to drop down to the south. Once it does, you're going to have more of that snow flurry activity getting into Eau Claire, Ladysmith, all the way down to possibly Black River Falls, Winona, and Red Wing. And then you'll see that try to track down to La Crosse as we get into 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock hour. By 3 o'clock, that's all done, but the clouds are still there. We'll hold on to those clouds with temperatures widespread in the 30s. More snow comes back as we go from the 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock hours, crossing the Mississippi and back into Eau Claire and Ladysmith. That continues to drag all the way down to the south by La Crosse, all the way to Boscobel as well by the 11 o'clock hour tonight. Then it bugs out by the 3 o'clock hour out of the region and it's done. Then we hold on to more snow coming back again for 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the noon hour for tomorrow on Friday. And that continues all the way to 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock through the region, all the way down to La Crosse again. By 5 o'clock, it's pretty much near La Crosse and then down to the south, stays down to the south between 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, all the way to the 9 o'clock hour, and it's pretty much done for the day. Let's take a quick peek what I've got going on for you for the next few days. If you give me that chance to do that, we'll hold on to the conditions to be like this. We'll get into warming conditions by Friday, colder by Saturday, weather alert day Saturday night through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday morning, where those temperatures go from 0, -1 to 10 degrees.
All right, Art, thank you. Well, why your risk of dementia may be higher than you think. New numbers that have doctors concerned.
Coming up in the Blitz, a trio of collegiate hoop squads trying to pick up a conference victory. Highlights from Viterbo and UWL coming your way momentarily.
Dear Winter, our squad of vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is ready. Bundle up, Toyota.
Right now, lease a new 2024 Tacoma for $319 a month. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hip, knee, or back pain? See if Arch Supports can help you at the Good Feet store.
Brad Schimmel, prosecutor, attorney general, rule of law judge. Schimmel put pedophiles behind bars, took on criminal illegals and cartels, protected kids and seniors from abuse.
Law school taught me the rights of the accused, but justice for the abused is denied all too often. I'm Brad Schimmel. On the state Supreme Court, I'll apply the law equally because everyone has the right to feel safe.
Schimmel, for justice.
We see you out there, giving your whole heart to what you do. That doesn't mean you have to give your whole wallet, too. It's why we make sure that as you find your way, you can find value along the way. Like 50-pound bags of Blaine's Black Oil Sunflower Seed, $19.99. $7 off select Neutrino Loyal Life puppy food. And save $130 on these men's Ariat boots.
That's what I'm talking about.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
The bargain shop.
In all home furniture stores.
To everyone who's hungry for something special,
Culver's is the place for us. Hi, what can I make fresh for you today? It's nice being greeted by people who are glad to see you. And I appreciate that they use real ingredients like fresh beef and Wisconsin cheese. The frozen custard is so fresh and creamy, it tastes like it was made just for us. It's our pleasure. Just spending time with family, that's what mealtime at Culver's is all about.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious!
The First Warn Weather app. Download it today.
Dear Winter, our squad of vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is ready. Bundle up, Toyota.
Right now, get 1.99% APR for 72 months on a tough new Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
This is you, one place to the next. One more thing to check off the list. But stopping for 30 minutes? Well, that's just not an option. So that's why there's this, the News 8000 app. All your local news, plus a little bit beyond. So take a break when you want to.
The News 8 Plus app. Local news on your time. Emily Brown on News 8 Now.
Blitz. Well, the month of January has been anything but kind to the Viterbo women's basketball team. They're looking for win number 1 of the new year last night against Indiana Northwest. V-Hawks up against one of the top teams in the CCAC. Good second quarter for the home side. Emily McCurdy rises, fires and hits from the wing. Red Hawk offense responding. Jessica Carruthers with the move to create space. Visitors go up 3. Viterbo with a good run. The quarter winding down, ball swung around to Marley Hughes. She drills it to put the V-Hawks up 3. And the hosts were up 4 entering the fourth quarter, but Indiana Northwest outscores the V-Hawks 20-7, and they leave with a league victory by 9. Turbo men looking to snap a losing skid of their own as well. Start off with Jack Voigt getting it on the block, and he's showing off the fancy footwork with fakes. Eventually banks it home with the left hand, but the home side had a tough time defending this guy, Trace Williams, with 2 of his 30 on the night right there. The Hawks hanging around though. Ball will be whipped out to Cole Johnson, who's gonna line it up and fire from deep. Makes it a 6-point game, but the Red Hawks prevail and sweep Viterbo 86-74 the final in the nightcap. UW Lacrosse ladies hoping to get back to 500 in the WIAC facing Stout. Second quarter, Eagles flying on the fast break. Malia Nelson spots Grace Knupp, who lays it in with ease. The Blue Devil offense was clicking. Anna Mooch with the fadeaway jumper that falls. Away side goes up 10. UWL then trying to find some success in the paint. Emma Jossie with the head fake blow by an easy bucket to cut into the deficit. But Stout shoots over 40% from distance, and they get the wire-to-wire victory by 8. Also, Play of the Week nominees are out on our website, so be sure to go check those out and cast your vote. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Where's the best place for local, fresh, quality meat? The Holman Locker and Meat Market, of course. Purchase a minimum of 25 pounds of 90% lean ground beef for $5.79 per pound or 85% lean for $5.39 per pound. Shop local at your Holman Locker and Meat Market and much, much more.
It's out with the old and in with the new. You know what they say. New year, new you. King Furniture is celebrating the new year with special trade-in offers. Trade in your old recliner for $50 towards a new one. Trade in your old sofa for $100. Trade in your old mattress for $75. $19.95, and we'll deliver and haul away for free. Shop store-wide savings as we continue to clear out inventory and make room for new styles for 2025. Plus, get free delivery and 12 months, no interest payments. The King Furniture New Year's sale going on now.
T-Mobile is very reliable.
It's always nice to know that T-Mobile has us covered.
I love the fact that my family and I, we can stay connected just about anywhere we want to go.
My network is my lifeline.
T-Mobile keeps you connected on America's largest and fastest 5G network. Right now, switch and keep your phone. We'll pay it off up to $800. See how you can save on every plan versus Verizon and AT&T at T-Mobile.com/keep-and-switch.
Does Random Starship Mortgage sponsor your kids' T-ball team? I doubt it. Firefighters Credit Union is a strong, reliable lender that has been a proud member of the community for nearly a century. Trust Firefighters Credit Union for your next home loan. Call Matt or Troy today.
Everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
This is Kathy. She's about to see her dentist. She's afraid. Not because of the drill, but because of the bill. A big bill. But Kathy doesn't need to be afraid, and neither do you, thanks to affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. It's easy to get this coverage. Don't believe me? Call or go online for all the details. You could even have this free information kit. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance. It helps pay for over 400 procedures. That's a lot. I'm talking cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures. Bottom line, you'll have help paying for routine care and expensive major work. But if you want deductibles, forget it. There aren't any. No annual maximum either. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. Stop fearing the big bill. Start saving at the dentist. Call now or go to sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Holman Locker and Meat Market, your place for fresh, quality local meat. Now's the time to stock up with our winter freezer filler bundle. Call and order yours today. Eat healthy. Shop local at your Holman Locker and Meat Market and much, much more.
News 8 Now Sports. Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
Wisconsin Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin wants to cut health care costs. She just introduced a bill along with the New Hampshire Democratic senator that would make premium tax credits on the Affordable Care Act permanent. These tax credits expire at the end of the year. Last year, 231,000 Wisconsinites were enrolled. They saved $573 monthly. And changes could be coming to tobacco products. The FDA proposing a limit on nicotine levels in items like cigarettes and cigars. Previous studies have shown that lower amounts of nicotine can help people smoke less and in some cases quit altogether. The proposal calls for capping nicotine to 0.7 milligrams per gram. Comments from the public can be made over the next few months. Officials say the finalization process for the rule could take years to complete. Americans love bacon and hot dogs, but eating too much can harm your health. Now, as Dr. Malika Marshall explains, a new study finds a link between processed red meat and dementia.
Beef, pork, lamb. The U.S. is one of the largest consumers of red meat in the world, and it's putting us at higher risk of health conditions like heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Now researchers have found a direct link between processed red meat and dementia.
Processed red meat.
Dr. Daniel Wen is a nutritional epidemiologist at Mass General Brigham. He and his team looked at the dietary habits of more than 133,000 health professionals, specifically on their consumption of both processed red meat, like bacon, hot dogs, and sausages, which contain high levels of salt and preservatives, and unprocessed red meat, like steak and ground beef. They found that those who ate the most processed red meat, on average a quarter serving per day or more, had a 13% higher risk of dementia compared to people who barely ate any.
We've found very consistent evidence that higher processed red meat intake is associated with higher risk of dementia.
The same level of risk was not found among people who consumed higher amounts of unprocessed red meat, though people who ate either unprocessed or processed meats were more likely to self-report problems with memory loss and cognitive decline.
If you can try to decrease your red meat intake, especially the processed red meat intake, at any time point during your life, that will help your cognitive health.
So if you're going to eat red meat, choose unprocessed red meat like the ground beef found in a hamburger, and of course, skip the bacon. The researchers also found that substituting red meat with nuts and seeds in particular, but also poultry, fish, and low-fat milk can reduce your risk of dementia and preserve brain health.
It's not clear how eating processed red meat contributes to dementia, but researchers believe it may boil down to its effect on the gut microbiome, an area they plan to study further. La Crosse County courts are working to keep people with mental illness out of jail. Local judges, law enforcement, and mental health experts are wrapping up a two-day workshop today, looking for better ways to connect people to treatment instead of putting them behind bars. Court officials say this new approach could help reduce repeat offenses by getting people the help they need.
Giving law enforcement and our communities alternatives to jail and emergency rooms to treat the underlying disorders and behaviors, so that way they can thrive in our communities and not get rearrested over and over.
The National Center for State Courts is running the workshops. If you're looking for a new job this new year, Monroe County is hosting a free job fair today, connecting you with local businesses ready to hire. You can stop by the County Executive Center's Assembly Room in Sparta between 2 and 4:30 this afternoon. The World Snow Sculpting Championship has drawn in 12 teams from 12 different countries to Stillwater, Minnesota this week. The competition involves crafting massive, complex designs out of snow. Ian Russell gives us a closer look.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and scraped by meticulous scrape.
And
Joshua Jakubowski,
yeah, I've been doing this for about 7-8 years.
Is bringing that beauty out.
Definitely complex. That design took a year to make, essentially.
Designing for Team Sculptura Borealis out of Wisconsin.
It's really an honor for us to be here. It's really incredible.
Jakubowski is part of a dozen teams sculpting and crafting on the banks of the St. Croix River.
It's a big deal for Stillwater. It's just really incredible and really a huge tribute to them to get this status of teams. These are the best teams in the world.
All descending on Stillwater to become the best of the best and win the World Snow Sculpting Championship.
I think we have the best art ever.
Robin Anthony Evenson is the president of the Greater Stillwater Chamber of Commerce. Stillwater also hosted last year's championship, but it didn't look or feel anything like a winter event really should.
Even making snow was rough because it was so warm. We got the coldest week of the year for this event. Unfortunately, they melted like the Monday right after, but we were able to put the event on.
This year, it's a different story with a winter that finally feels like winter.
We need it cold, and the sculptors really like it when it's a little extra cold too. They'll sculpt through the night to be able to get in that fine detail.
Today is a beautiful day. Yeah, as good as it can get, basically.
Each team will spend the next 4 days crafting their masterpiece, chiseling and scraping away inch by inch to reveal their complicated designs. As part of that, teams will use their own country's heritage and culture to influence their work, all representing a theme that blends it all together. And if you thought that these 12 teams were all from places with a lot of snow, think again.
We are representing Peru.
Sebastian Emmanuel Israel Peña Perez isn't just unaccustomed to doing this.
It's my first competition.
The Lima, Peru native is not exactly an expert in what they're working with.
No. In Lima, we don't have snow. The sand is similar.
Don't count them out because it's his first competition, though. His dad there has done plenty of these, focusing on their culture.
We passionately represent this heritage.
It'll be a mad dash these next few days, trying to finish on time by Saturday.
It's honestly anybody's event at this point in time.
But at least this year,
everybody is so good.
Mother Nature is on their side.
And the teams have until Saturday at 4 p.m. to complete those sculptures. We'll check in with meteorologist Art Jarrett now. Art, they're going to be so sore after all that lifting of that heavy snow.
I know, right? Yeah. Couldn't we get some of that here locally?
Yeah.
That'll make you feel better, right? Hey, we get into it here. The highs, again, with these winds continue to gust up a little bit. You're looking at them in the 20s and the 30s as we finish out today, going through the morning hours. You're going to be seeing Thursday here at the 11 o'clock hour, still breezy and gusty winds. They begin to back down as we get into the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock o'clock hour, and then by 4 o'clock they're back down to around 18 or less. Futurecast is showing you the light snow that was kind of tracking through the area this early morning. You can see it was up by Eau Claire, Ladysmith, and of course we'll see more of this coming back again as we go through the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock hour, then tapering off by the time we get into the noon hour. Current temperatures for you, still holding on to the 30s, widespread here right now. Decorah at 28 degrees, Winona at 32 degrees. We'll hold on to the feels-like temperatures. You're looking at mostly in the 20s for us here locally. 32 in Sparta, though, that's a little bit on the odd side, but holding on to at least 20 in Viroqua to about 26 in Boscobel. All right, so the kids going to school this morning, 30 degrees for you. Icy roadways with a chance of a snow flurry. We're also going to be seeing here again for off to school for the folks going into, I should say La Crosse now, 30. And in fact, by the time we get into the mid-morning hours, you're looking at, again, mild conditions with a possibility of a little bit of warming getting into those 30s for you. We'll also hold on to icy chances for flurries for Eau Claire, 30 degrees for you for your local temperatures under cloudy skies, and eventually 32 degrees for this afternoon at 3 o'clock, holding on to the cloudy skies in the forecast. Looking ahead, though, as we go through La Crosse, you're looking at the potential for temperatures to increase, but we're also seeing the possibility once we get into the evening hours, maybe a little snowfall coming back again for your evening commute and beyond. Back to you. All right, coming up in our Buzz Report, we're looking at comedians in Los Angeles are hosting a show to support fellow comedians who have suffered as a result of the California wildfires down in LA. We're also looking at more of this coming back again in the form of Comedy Gives Back as we go into the show here after the break. We'll talk about that whole show in just a moment.
When I'm done, cleaned up, and I take the customer down there, I go through it all with them and explain how the equipment operates, show them how the bypass operates, how to set the clock, how the unit actually backwashes, pulls brine, how a water softener actually works.
It's the January clearance event at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. Big savings on some of the best brands in furniture. We're clearing our showrooms to make way for fresh new introductions with hundreds of items reduced to their lowest prices ever. Dining rooms and bedrooms from Daniel's Amish and Canal Dover. Sofas and sectionals from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. And dining by Canadel. Plus the area's best selection of top grain leather from Stressless, Palliser, and Lazy Boy. It's happening now during the January clearance event at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
If you're living with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis or active psoriatic arthritis, symptoms can sometimes hold you back. But now there's Skyrizi, so you can be all in with clearer skin.
Things are getting clearer. Yeah, I feel free. To bend my skin, yeah, that's on me. Nothing is everything.
With Skyrizi, you can show up with 90% clearer skin. And if you have psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi can help you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Now's the time. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Bad back? Get Good Feet with the personalized arch support system from the Good Feet store. Clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet, good life. The Good Feet store. Book your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Jason's been with us long enough now to see changes in Michael's abilities. He can analyze them and tailor his recommendations because he has almost as much knowledge of Michael's health as Michael's doctors do. I think that's huge. That is the single biggest factor for me. And that kind of client relationship is invaluable, especially when you're facing the challenges that we are.
Hi, I'm Jason with Access Elevators. Stop in and see us today.
When I'm done, cleaned up, and I take the customer down there, I go through it all with them and explain how the equipment operates, show them how the bypass operates, how to set the clock, how the unit actually backwashes, pulls brine, how a water softener actually works.
All right, wind gusts. We're going back to wind gusts again as you go into it at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is when these winds really start to tick up going into your morning and add in a little bit of wind chill. Even though we're going to see temperatures holding on into the 30s and 40s in the afternoon, you're going to see these winds really pick up into the 20s and 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts kind of kicking through the forecast area all the way into the 8 o'clock hour and through the evening. It's pretty much all day Friday. We'll also hold on to the possibility of Thursday's highs, today's highs getting into at least 30 or so to about maybe 36 degrees. We have the clouds coming in. We're looking at cloudy skies to mostly cloudy conditions as the clouds fill in through the better part of the morning. We're having more flurries come back again for Eau Claire, Ladysmith, trying to get down to Winona as well as Black River Falls. We may see that try to get down here locally by the time we get into the 11 o'clock hour, but for now it looks like it's not really working out for us. It's more of a slight chance. 1 o'clock though, we're widespread in the cloud cover here, and it starts to erode back as some colder air starts to move into the picture. We're looking at 8 o'clock, between 7 and 8 o'clock, snow starts to return. More snow that will be light working through the area all the way to 3 o'clock or so. We're going to be seeing that get back down to our area by at least 11 o'clock in the morning, or evening, excuse me, for us tonight. And then eventually it all breaks down, going back to more snow coming back again for another round by the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock hour for the morning for tomorrow. Stays up there again. Then a mix of rain and snow starts to become your forecast, working towards Eau Claire and then Red Wing. And that could calm down all the way down to La Crosse. So that means the roadways will be a little bit more wet and icy as we finish out the day going into the overnight hours, where conditions will be much colder going into Saturday. Let's take a look here what I've got going on for you. That snow lingering down to the southern portion here of the area from Viroqua all the way down into areas by Boscobel and Prairie du Chien, and then by the time we get in the 11 o'clock hour, we're done. Holding on to this though, we're looking at highs for tomorrow, looking at 39 or so, possibly 35, all the way up to about 45 degrees. We'll also get into the snow expected as we go from today and tomorrow to be limited. Most of that is well up to the north, and that finishes out there. You're looking at possibly a trace to at least less than a half an inch of snow. Going into your forecast for today and tomorrow, we're holding on to warmer conditions. 20% chance of rainfall in the forecast in the form of showers, snow showers, into a mix of rain and snow going into tomorrow. Then we have a 30% chance of Saturday with temperatures plummeting, dropping from 41 degrees on Friday to 15 degrees for our high going into Saturday. So that means temperatures will be all the way down to possibly negative numbers. 0 degrees for us on Sunday. Also, that's a weather alert day, which starts on Saturday night, carrying over through Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, where temperatures begin to drop all the way down from 0 to -1 to 10 degrees for your highs. That alert day finishes by Tuesday morning, and eventually more snow is coming back for Wednesday and Thursday in the form of a 30% chance to a 20% chance in your local forecast. Back to you, Alexandra.
Kim Kardashian is asking California's governor to raise the pay of incarcerated firefighters. The reality star turned law student says the men and women are putting their lives on the line and deserve more than the $5 to $10 per day they're currently earning for their work. She went on to thank her, quote, heroes for saving her own neighborhood. As of Friday, nearly 1,000 inmates were serving. Comedians are helping their colleagues get through the LA wildfires. A Comedy Gives Back show will benefit comedians affected by the fires. Patton Oswalt, Zach Galifianakis, Bob Odenkirk, and Brian Posehn lead the lineup of the benefit. That is January 31st in LA.
When people look at me, the first thing they see is what's missing. If I win, having one leg won't be the most important thing about me.
Jarrell Jerome plays real-life wrestler Anthony Robles in Unstoppable. The film hits Prime Video today.
No sane man would want the papacy. The men who are dangerous are the ones who do want it.
That was Conclave, leading the nominations for this year's BAFTA Film Awards. The Vatican thriller earning 12 nominations ahead of Emilia Perez, which received 11. And here's a quick look now at what's coming up on CBS This Morning. Stay with us.
Coming up on CBS Mornings, we're just days away from the historic second inauguration of Donald Trump. CBS Mornings is taking our show on the road to our nation's capital. We'll be there Monday for everything. Today, we're going to take you behind the scenes of the extensive security preparations that include protection from the land, from the air, and the water, too. Plus men, they were a key voting group that helped the president-elect win this election. Tony explores how Trump connected with a growing group of men. and what issues they hope that he will address during his second term. And we'll be joined by one of our own local reporters. She's gone viral on TikTok by helping people displaced by the California wildfires get some much-needed closure. Looking forward to meeting her. We'll see you 7 o'clock, straight up.
For a limited time, Hardee's is adding the rich goodness of maple flavor to our handcrafted favorites. For a sweet spot in your day all day, maple makes everything better, especially at Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon every day.
Brad Schimmel, prosecutor, attorney general, rule of law judge. Schimmel put pedophiles behind bars, took on criminal illegals and cartels, protected kids and seniors from abuse.
Law school taught me the rights of the accused, but justice for the abused is denied all too often. I'm Brad Schimmel. On the state Supreme Court, I'll apply the law equally because everyone has the right to feel safe.
Schimmel for justice.
When migraine strikes, do you question the trade-offs of treating? Ubrelvy is another option. It works fast, and most have migraine pain relief within 2 hours. You can treat it anytime, anywhere. Tell your doctor all medicines you take. Don't take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors. Get help right away for allergic reactions like trouble breathing or face, tongue, or throat swelling, which may occur hours to days after use. Common side effects include nausea and sleepiness. Migraine pain relief starts with you. Learn how AbbVie could help you save on Ubrelvy.
Signs build brands, create impact, and grab attention. Signorama Lacrosse is your full-service sign center. We use the latest technology and highest quality products to produce custom signs, vehicle wraps, banners, wall murals, window graphics, and trade show displays. Signorama Lacrosse Design Services will help create the perfect sign to advertise your product or business. We can custom make any type of sign, including box signs, channel letters, custom logos, digital graphics, and directory signs. Signorama Lacrosse, locally owned, globally known.
You'll find the Ram you're looking for at Pischke Motors in West Salem or Pischke Motors in La Crosse.
Start 2025 off right with a new Ram during the Start Something New sales event. Stop into Pischke Motors now to save over $10,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn. Plus save an additional $3,250 with conditional incentives. Come see the all-new and redesigned Bighorn with unparalleled durability, towing, and hauling. Hurry in, this offer ends January 31st.
Start your search at Pischke.com and then drive away in your new Ram.
Hardee's came up with the mushroom and Swiss burger over 45 years ago. Buttery Swiss and savory mushroom sauce on charbroiled beef. Here's to good things never changing. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
What is a hero? Not the kind from comic books and movies, saving the day. We're talking about everyday heroes, those with a special kind of courage or ability, those saving the day, one person at a time. News 8 Now wants to find those heroes and thank them for bettering our community. Go to news8000.com, click on Features, then Hometown Heroes to nominate someone you feel is truly a hometown hero. Download the News 8000 app today. Ken Kozarowski on News 8 Now.
Welcome back. It is 6:52. Time for your morning news now. New this morning, Eau Claire officials asking the state attorney general to step in after reports of police dropping off homeless people in their community. News 8 has obtained some letters detailing multiple incidents, including 3 from St. Croix County alone. Meanwhile, Menominee police say they're investigating one of those incidents. They plan to release body and squad car footage, they say, to address what they call discrepancies in the claims. And some global news, Israel and Hamas reaching a ceasefire deal in Gaza, celebrations on the streets as that news broke. The deal is in 2 stages. Phase 1 lasts 42 days with Hamas releasing 33 hostages, including Americans. In exchange, Israel will release dozens of Palestinian prisoners. A member from the Cooley Region Coalition for Palestinian Rights says that it is a relief that a deal is finally in place.
Finally, humanity prevailed. Peace prevailed. It should have been done a long time ago, but at least we're at this point now, and I'm so happy for all parties.
And we are still waiting for Israel to sign the deal to make it official. President Biden marking the ceasefire and other achievements in a farewell address last night from the Oval Office. The president leaving that post with a 39% approval rating, according to Gallup. But he maintains that the nation is on better terms with allies around the world, saying the U.S. will long reap benefits from historic investments at home. And the National Weather Service warning that dangerous conditions could return to the Los Angeles area next week. Winds are expected to weaken, though, for the time being. CBS News has confirmed that as the Palisades fire started, only 19 fire engines were pre-deployed to the area. It's unclear how many, if any, were sent to the first neighborhood on fire. And Eau Claire volunteers working with the Red Cross helping victims of those California fires. Loon Wen has been volunteering at the Pasadena Civic Center, one of 7 sites in the area. It's the largest facility where victims can go for services and for a place to stay.
A lot of times people are donating things that you might not think about, right? Because we're in a shelter setting, a lot of people are donating board games, coloring books, activities that kids can do while they're here.
He'll be out in California until the end of the month. The new twist in the closing of the Leinenkugel Brewery in Chippewa Falls. Jake and Dick Leinenkugel want to buy it back from Molson Coors. In a joint statement, the brothers said they asked the CEO to begin talks January 6th. They say the CEO declined and has not responded to follow-up messages. The brewery is set to close tomorrow after more than 150 years, a move that will leave 56 people without jobs. Molson Coors plans to move operations to Milwaukee. If you are looking for a job, Monroe County is hosting a free job fair today. You can stop by the County Executive Center's Assembly Room in Sparta between 2 and 4:30 this afternoon. It is free and open to the public.
All right, this afternoon we are looking at least mostly cloudy to cloudy skies in the forecast. 34 degrees for our high possible with breezy and gusty winds working through the forecast. 27 degrees tonight, though, as we go into the overnight hours with clearing skies and cooler conditions. But yeah, we may still see a little snow working in the forecast. It's about a 20% chance. So we'll also see as we go into the next couple of days, we're holding on to at least milder conditions. By Saturday, temperatures drop, though, with a 30% chance of showers, and that's in the form of snow. Light snow will carry over to colder conditions as we go into a weather alert day Saturday night into the overnight for Sunday, and that continues all the way to Tuesday morning.
And before we go, a blast from the broadcasting past. From Betacams to floppy disks, the Japanese Museum is letting visitors get hands-on with gadgets of yesteryear. The Extinct Media Museum. That sounds harsh. Extinct Media Museum. With all these things we recognize, right? It houses everything from century-old cameras to vintage Sony devices. Look at those. I remember those. Unlike most museums, you can actually touch the displays. Curators say it's not just about preserving history, it's about letting people experience these old technologies with all 5 senses, right down to that unmistakable smell of a cassette tape. Yeah, you remember that smell, right? Yeah, there's a Mac computer. Oh man, yeah, definitely nostalgic.
Where was that big phone like Gordon Gekko used to have on the beach? Huh?
Yeah, the big phone. Yeah, I miss the flip phone too that you could slam closed when you were angry. The good old days. Well, thank you for starting your morning with us. We will see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your Thursday. Take it slow on the roads, right? Slippery out there. Yeah, be careful. We'll see you back here later.